Good morning. Oh, good morning. I just want to thank God for another beautiful day. And I'm thanking God despite a Peninah in my life of hay fever. Hey! But still on this topic of divine connections, I just began to think and write about some other kind of divine connections that we don't normally see as divine, but actually that lead to such great things in our lives. And where in the last few weeks I've been talking about the coat of many colors and Joseph, and I've noticed how many people literally don't share their dreams with anyone anymore, don't share their desires because they're scared that, oh, the enemy will snatch it, or people will steal it, all sorts of things. But actually, Joseph would not have got to where he got to had he not shared his dream. The process that he went through of his dream seemingly getting buried and then rising up again is a process that we see in so many stories in the Bible. And I think it's actually a blueprint of the emergence of things that are born of God. It's like when you throw a seed in the ground, it has to germinate and then it has to break through the ground and come out fighting gravity before it can be seen on the earth and bear fruit, get to a point where it bears fruit. So your dream, your desire, that thing that you have in you has a process. The timing is God's of how long that process is. But I wanted to just give you something to think about in terms of people who you've probably been labeling as your enemies in your life and saying, oh, the enemy, my enemy, my enemy. And yet actually God has allowed them to come in to stir up some things in you. Good morning, Father. How are you? And that stirring up is literally the thing that you need to give birth, to conceive and give birth to what God has put inside of you. Hannah would go up to worship every year, and her husband even loved her more than he loved Peninah. And you can see that story in the book of 1 Samuel. And, many times in life we get quite comfortable. Everyone says, oh, well, it's okay. Not everyone gets successful. Not everyone's meant to be wealthy. Not everyone's this. And if you take comfort in that, you can just say, yeah, after all, it's all good where I'm at. And it would have been for Hannah because, well, after all, my husband does love me, and, he shows me favor. I get double the portion of busha kanene Hannah rabasa. And yet it wasn't okay. There were babies inside of her womb that needed to come out. But because that Peninah came and kept stirring at her and laughing and saying, hey, you who have no children, you can't hold my child, and that caused some kind of emotion in this woman that just caused her to be distressed and thinking, God, when are you going to answer me? She had sleepless nights and prayed and fasted and just put her face to the wall and said, Lord, you need to deliver on this. How can I keep coming year after year? What have I done wrong? What is it? She really had to search deep and high and to the point where she got her breakthrough. She got her Samuel. She gave birth to something that was in her belly all along, but it needed a Peninah to stir it up for it to come out. She could have been complacent and comfortable in the place that she was at until that Peninah came and said, hello, you know what? It's not good enough. Let someone laugh at you. Let someone mock you. Let someone think, where is this your God that you're constantly proclaiming about? Year in, year after, you're here praying. What's happening? I was marveling at a story my mom was telling me the other day of how she ended up buying her own car. She knew how to drive, but, they shared a car with my dad, and this was back home in Zimbabwe. And she said, one day I was walking, she was a nurse and she used to wear those white uniforms, And she said, one day I was waiting, at the side of the street and it was raining. I had my umbrella, but a car came and it splashed me. I don't know if any of you have ever been splashed by a car, but man, she said that was it. I said, no way am I going to be walking like this or waiting for my husband to come and pick me up. I am getting my own car. And she began to find ways of earning more money to be able to afford that car. And she got it, So that driver that day, where many of us are walking around and saying, hey, my enemy, hey, God forbid, has been put along to stir something up inside of you and I, to say, hey, I can't be a person of Futron or R2 for the rest of my days. I have to get a car. I don't know how about who's been mocking you about continuously being a tenant and say, you are still renting. Up until now, what are you working for? Let them continue, because that is stirring up something you where God is saying, no, you will own homes, you will own businesses, you will own land. You have to be grateful for these people who come along and begin to stir you up and begin to to begin to incite some sort of emotions inside you, that provoking inside of you, because there is more and greater things that God has in store for you. Greater things that he has planned and purposed for you. And sometimes that divine connection will not come in a wonderful way that we are used to them coming in, but it'll come in the form of a Peninah, in the form of someone who will mock you, in the form of someone who will provoke you and cause you to say, this one, Lord, hear my prayer. Lord, hear my cry. This thing, I can't keep going in front when my situation is like this. The reason is you are carrying the solution. You have it inside of you. You have it within you. You have it around you. And it's coming forth. I was also looking at when Jesus was in the temple and he was really upset, about people causing the house of God to be a place where sales of things were happening, and many a times we would have said, why didn't they just clean up before he came or whatever, but that thing was a provocation to the reason he was there, and as he did that and they began to ask him, what do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? He began to prophesy his own destiny and say, you know what? You can destroy this temple, but in 3 days, I'm going to build it up again. There had to be a stirring of anger inside of him, godly anger, that pushed him to begin to speak the things that were within him, that began to push him to prophesy that which was coming, that this temple would be destroyed. He would be destroyed. It was not a comfortable, a beautiful thing. I mean, why would you allow that to come out of your mouth? But it was a process that needed to happen. He had to speak it because that was the reason he was there. So there is a purpose that is inside of you that has got to be stirred up by something around you. And my prayer is that you allow God to bring some of the things that will seem like enemies in your life to stir up that thing that is within you. Some of us need a stirring up. Some of us are too comfortable in a place which is beneath the things that God has for us. Some of us are too comfortable in that place, and it's time for that stirring to come. It will come in a package that you don't expect. It'll come in a form that that you're not used to seeing, or that you like to see, or that you will receive and welcome into your house. But that is one of the divine connections that will push you into your destiny. So this morning, Lord, I just thank you for everyone who is watching this. Open their eyes to begin to see, Lord, some of the negative people around them or negative situations around them that they have thought are coming from the enemy, but you have allowed these things to come into pass because there is a greatness that is inside of them that has got to be birthed, like Joseph, who had a dream and he shared shared it with his brothers, and those brothers sold him to slaves, which was part of the process, to the greatness of him fulfilling his destiny. May the processes that you pre-prepared for your people before the foundations of earth were set come to pass, O Lord, so that the greatness and the glory that you have for them in each and every area of their lives may come to pass. Ndarika Maria sekatakatika irikudzoka zvese zvakatakatika zvikudzoka. Lord, as you are restoring in this season, don't leave us behind. Whatever you are doing in this season, Lord, don't do it without us. Makatendeka Jesu. Muri Mwari vakanaka, muri Mwari vanogona, muri Mwari vanozviratidza mune zvese. Mahalamande kayamande lekatalamande lekayamande lekayamanda. Makatendeka Jesu. We thank you, Lord, this morning. We bless your holy name. We glorify you, for you are a good, good Father, and that all things are working together for our good. We love God and we're called according to his purposes, and he is making absolutely every situation work out for you and I's favor. So thank you for watching. Maybe we'll have a great morning and catch up with you soon. God bless you. Bye.